The MCU's beloved band of misfits, the Guardians of the Galaxy, are back and ready to kick off the summer movie season. To get ready for Volume 3, Corey and I are here with Framerate Studios' definitive list of the top 5 team members. Who will be the true leader and which one will be left out in the cold? In the movie galaxy of the YouTube universe, you've landed on Framerate Studio, your guide for all things movies. I'm Chad.
And I'm Corey. With the help of the internet and a little bit of a debate between Chad and myself, we've come up with Framerate Studios' top 5 Guardians in the MCU. Let us know in the comments below what you think. What are the top 5? Now, I mentioned the internet because it helped us decide to give a 3-way tie to our number 5 spot in this countdown. Tied for number 5 is the trio of Gamora, Nebula, and Yondu. All 3 of these characters are great, and I think they all deserve some type of space within the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Absolutely.
However, it was just difficult to try to pick it just one, and I'm kind of glad we did because one of my favorite scenes consists of both Nebula and Gamora, and it's when Thanos brings Gamora in to see Nebula as she's being tortured to try to get the Soul Stone, the location of it. I just think that whole scene is great, and you also get to see this bond that is between these, I guess, sisters, stepsisters, or I don't even know if you can call them stepsisters, but whatever they are. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is a very good scene, and I would agree. For me, out of all 3 of these, the scene, I think we've proven out that I tend to sometimes like the little bit more dramatic scenes, and maybe some people might call them a bit sappier scenes.
I knew you were a big softy.
The interaction between Peter and Yondu at the end of Volume 2 is very touching and a good send-off, at least as far as we know, a good send-off for the character of Yondu, and it's just very heartfelt, very touching, and I think really is why I thought that Yondu would stay, that we'd keep that 3-way tie.
And so being the big softy is the reason why you overlook the I'm Mary Poppins.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Now that is funny. It is very, very funny, and talk about brand synergy as far as, but with Disney,
It's great synergy.
So yeah, but a very funny scene, but the one that means the most to me is the part between him and Peter. Coming in at number 4 is the lovable and loyal Drax the Destroyer.
Do me.
If the Guardians ever find themselves in a tight spot, he never backs down and always has their back. Literally. While Corey and I agree he's fun and likable, he does start to become a bit one-dimensional. So for me, the scene that I love best with Drax in it, really the whole sequence at the beginning of Volume 2 just really is what I love with him the most. That his idea is to get swallowed by the monster. Using just the quick action with the knives, thinking he's going to cut his way out. And then the whole interaction after they've won the fight about...
What are they called again?
Annulax batteries.
Harbulary batteries.
That's nothing like what I just said.
Peter. It's just such a perfect microcosm of exactly who Drax is and what he does.
For me, my favorite is just the introduction to him. I think it's a great scene that introduces you to the complete story of him. And you also get to feel his lack of... He takes things too seriously, always. Because when Peter just does...
Why would I put my finger on his throat?
General expression.
That whole interaction between them, you got that feel of, here's a guy who wants to get revenge on his family, and when you start to see his brilliance, to say, or lack of, you kind of like, is he going to be able to? Number 3 barely survived its battle with Drax the Destroyer to gain our number 3 spot. He put up such a strong fight that he probably could have taken on the legendary Kevin Bacon and won. Our number 3 Guardian is part human, part celestial, and goes by the name Star Prince.
Star-Lord.
Oh, sorry, Lord.
So my favorite part with Star-Lord is not really much of a scene at all. It's just a moment. But I also have to say, I think it also is chalked up to Chris Pratt because it's such an ad-libbed scene, is when they go to the broker
Tannelir Tivan, the collector.
to sell the Infinity Stone in all reality, and he stands up and he hands it and he drops the orb. Well, that wasn't in the script. He literally dropped it and quickly bent down, picked it up, and stuck it back out. And it was just perfect for the character fit.
For me, everything that goes on with them trying to capture him and everything, it gives you a good introduction to who this character is in so many ways. I think the only thing I probably would have pushed, I think we both would have, to push him higher. I think for me, we've talked about this time and time again, they were so close to defeating Thanos. So close. If he had just waited until they got the gauntlet off of him and then punched him in the face, he might be at the top spot. But that impetuous nature just hurt him a little bit too much for me. In the number 2 spot, it's the walking, talking shrubbery of many words. It's Groot. His heart and brute strength makes him pretty hard to beat. Groot shows what it is to be a gentle giant, walking softly and carrying a big stick.
Many of them.
What?
Many of them.
There was some debate as to whether we should consider him one character or two, the OG from the first movie, or his younger self from the later films.
Whoa!
Hey!
You got some acorns on you, kid.
In the end, we decided they are Groot. So I think for me, and we talked about this as we were getting ready to do this, that my favorite scene for Groot is when he is fighting alongside Peter and Drax on Ronan's ship in the first movie. And, and he extends out the branches and kills 20 of Ronan's men, and then basically turns back to him, smiles. It was perfect for who that character is, and just it was fantastic.
Oh, you took mine. I mean, I'd have to agree with it. It is, because he's just got that look of, did I do good? Here we are at the top of our list, our top Guardian. By what we noticed online, it's probably safe to say he's the internet's top Guardian as well. He speaks of affairs he knows nothing about.
That is true.
Has no respect for personal property.
That is also true.
And doesn't like to be called a vermin. He may be the smallest, but that didn't stop him from rocketing to the number 1 spot. Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Rocket Raccoon, there's too many.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that puts him at the top. There's so many, but probably the one that stands out is from Guardians 1, when literally standing out, is he's the last one to stand up within the group, and he just stands there, and there is the famous line.
We're all standing up now. Bunch of jackasses standing in a circle.
Yeah, that was my favorite as well. I mean, it came up in our top 5, Marvel movies episode as well. But speaking of standing, one of my other favorite things, and it's a couple different scenes. As an amputee, you would think I wouldn't find the parts where he constantly wants prosthetic devices from these characters.
You are one sick, twisted freak.
But I find it absolutely hilarious that he's constantly wanting Peter to go steal the prosthetic leg, that he wants Bucky's arm.
How much for the arm?
He's like,
Oh, I'll get that arm.
every time it makes me laugh hysterically.
That's
The eyeball.
Yes.
Look again.
But leave the eye here.
Why?
He's gonna wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
If it's not a natural part of you, it's fair game.
Yeah, it's fair game. It's fair game. Absolutely. So yes. But yeah, I would agree. There's just too many with Rocket, and it is really what has him rocketing to the top is just he's so multifaceted as a character.
Oh yeah, just the depth of him, and going into 3, it just looks like they're going even deeper with him. So yeah.
Well, there you have it. Those are our top 5 Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, the real question is, will they all make it out of 3 alive?
We're all gonna die.
Let us know what you think in the comments. And as always, the cast of Frame Rate Studio thanks you for joining us on our continuing trek through the movie galaxy of the YouTube universe. What, Corey? What? You've got something you want to say. What?
You're truly a big softie.